Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is gzduel, and here to bring you guys the long-awaited, the much-requested Dragon Ruler Assault Mode deck, or Dragon Ruler Assault Mode Activate. Actually spells out D-R-A-M-A, so drama. So it's really weird. Okay, so bad puns aside, I'm here to bring you guys this deck profile. I think that Dragon Rulers is a really good engine for Assault Mode simply because like you can search out your tuners at the same time when you're banishing the level 7 dragon. So say you're missing a tuner, but you have like the ability to banish either Tempest or Blaster. You can then search for your level 1 tuner, whether that be Corsica or whether that be the Flamval Guard. Or if you're in a pinch, you can also just like normal summon out the Effect Veiler, of which you run 3, and it's pretty efficient. Plus, all the earth monsters like Maxi, like Assault Beast, they end up in the graveyard because you're discarding them to use their effects. And then you can just simply pop out a Redox by banishing the 2 without banishing any of your dragons. And then using Redox, you can just synchro summon into Stardust Dragon. So the deck is really good, and it also fixes one of the weaknesses of Assault Mode, that is using too many resources without a backup plan. So early versions of Assault Mode Activate, you have to use up to 3 cards in order to get it out. You need the base, you need the tuner, and you also need a way to search for Assault Mode Activate. Now that only leaves you with like 3 other cards, but once they divert your Stardust Assault Mode somehow, with a pesky effect, they can OTK you pretty easily. But with Dragon Rulers, what's really awesome is, first of all, you can run 6 hand traps. Second of all, you have these dragons, which you use to synchro summon. They end up in the graveyard, and then next turn you can special summon them back by banishing other dragons, namely the Stardust Dragon that you tributed, and also a lot of other earth monsters and stuff. And then you can go for things like Draco Sack. You can go for things like Crimson Blade, or you can go for things like Star Eater. So that's another cool thing about using the Dragon Ruler engine for Assault Mode. So without further ado, let me just get into the deck profile. It's been a lot of talking. For the monsters, we have a lot. Flamval Guard is one. 3 Assault Beast, 3 Blaster, 1 Debris Dragon, 1 Dragoonity Corsica, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Maxi, 3 Redox, 2 Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, 3 Tempest, and 3 what is this called? Tidal. Yes, 3 Tidal. For the spells, we have 2 Cards of Consonance, 2 Return from Different Different Dimension Reincarnation (DDR), and also 3 Dragoonity. 3 Dragon Ravine. I'll talk about why I chose to run 3 Dragon Ravine. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons main deck. This has been working out very well. 2 Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. And for the traps, we have 2 Assault Mode Activate and 1 Return from a Different Dimension. So I'll talk about all the card choices after I go through everything else. In the extra deck, we have Ancient Sacred Wyvern, Armory Arm, Black Rose Dragon, Black Wing Dragon. I'll talk about this. Crimson Blader, Orient Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, Scrap Dragon, Star Eater, 2 Stardust Dragons, 2 Draco Sack, 1 Big Eye, and 1 Master of Blades. In the side deck, we have 2 Exploder Dragons, 3 Fencing Fire Ferret. I think that's what its name is. 1 Dark Hole, 2 Lightning Vortex, the 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 XYZ Encore, and also 3 of the Royal Decree. So let me talk about the main deck, some choices. As you can see for the tuner monsters, they're like the Dragon tuner monsters, there aren't that much. I have 1 Flamval Guard, 1 Debris Dragon, and 1 the Dragoonity Corsica. The reason why I didn't run too many more is because I didn't find it really necessary. Basically, you can't, using Debris Dragon, you're only supposed to use it to go for something like a Star Eater. So since this deck doesn't play, by the way, doesn't play like Card Trooper, doesn't play like Lightsworn. The reason being because you don't want to mill some of the key cards that you're trying to keep in your deck, like Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, or you don't want to mill both of your Assault Mode activates, which will make the rest of the Assault Mode engine very dead. And the extra mills that you get from the Card Trooper also ensures that you can't summon that tuner that turn, and you can't go for Stardust that turn. So I thought it was counterintuitive. So then without the Card Trooper, without things like I don't also run the plant engine, so without things like Dandelion, the power of Debris Dragon is actually quite limited. There's not that many opportunities in which you can go for Black Rose Dragon, or like any level 7 dragons. So, you know, Debris Dragon at 1 is usually what I do is I summon out 2 level 7 dragons. Using Debris Dragon, I pull back either like a, Veiler or a Flamvel Guard, and then I can go for a Stardust and a Star Eater. So that's what I usually use Debris Dragon for. So I didn't find it necessary to play 2. Also, as you can see, I also have like 3 Assault Beast, but only 2 Assault Mode Activate. That's because I think Assault Beast is more useful sometimes than Assault Mode Activate. 1, because you can use it to search Assault Mode Activate. 2, because it's a Earth monster, so that if you have a Redox and you have only 1 other dragon, but you have this thing, you can just discard your Assault Beast, search your Assault Mode Activate, and then banish the other dragon plus Assault Beast to special summon out your Redox. So that's actually very helpful a lot of the times. Plus, Assault Beast is 1,900 attack. Some people forget that. Sometimes when your opponent tries to play smart, they try to like set a monster or whatever, and then they activate Vanity's Emptiness on your turn, so you can't do anything. You simply summon out your Assault Beast, attack over their monster, and then still go off. Assault Beast is really important. And also Assault Beast, if you have like an extra one, if you searched out both of your Assault Mode activates, you just have that third extra one, you can just simply discard it with Redox in your hand, and you can just reborn back whatever. Like you can reborn back a Stardust, and that's really, really useful. So that's why I run it at 3 and Assault Mode Activate at 2. The reason why I play 3 Dragon Ravine is because this deck really wants that setup to be like as early as possible. You want to have as many dragons to banish in order to search for the tuner, in order to shrink your deck, in order to draw into like Assault Mode Activate. So it's very key sometimes. So as you can see, the draw cards, like the 2 cards of Consonance plus the 2 the Sword of 7 Stars, a lot of other Dragon Ruler decks, they play like 3 of the Sword of 7 Stars, but the reason why I only play 2 is because when you're using the sword, you're using one of your dragon's effects that turn, so you can't use it to banish or you can't use it to search for stuff. So although it does give you a plus like 2 draws, I just think it better if you had like 3 Dragon Ravines. It's just, you don't have to necessarily use the dragon's effect in order to get your deck rolling, and in that way you might be able to summon out that Stardust, whereas if you had like a 7 stars Sword of 7 Stars, you might have to like prevent yourself from going off this turn because you don't have enough dragon effects to banish things. So that's why I run it at 2 and Dragon Ravine at 3. It's a really nice balance, and I never find myself needing more of these Sword of 7 Stars. I never find myself needing more of Cards of Consonance. It's just, I think the balance is alright. Okay, in the extra deck, there are some questionable choices. As you can see, I have like Armory Arm. Armory Arm are for those occasions where if I have like a Debris Dragon and I have a random token on the field, I would be able to go for Armory Arm and then like, equip it to my Draco Sack or whatever. But Armory Arm is pretty rare other than that, but I still think that level 4 Synchro Monster is pretty important. Also Blackwing Dragon. So some of you would be wondering, why are you playing Blackwing Dragon? There's other like better level 8 Synchro Monsters out there. But the reason why I play Blackwing Dragon is because Chain Burn is a thing, and I want to be able to have like a main deck option in the first duel in order to be able to pull off to stop the opponent who's playing Chain Burn. So of course eventually you'll side in things like Royal Decree, and if you're lucky you'll have a Stardust Dragon Assault Mode trying to negate the key cards, but at the same time having that Blackwing Dragon is not that bad. It's 2,800 attack. It's pretty good overall. Okay, and then I guess that's all I need to explain for the main deck. For the extra deck, I just want to explain some things in the side deck. I run 2 Exploder Dragons because it's a Dragon Earth, and you can search it with Redox, and you need this. Like all of these cards in the extra deck are for things that try to stun you and things that try to limit what you can do as a Dragon Ruler player. So namely, Evil Swarms. Also things like Blackwings when they have like Icarus attack, where that there's Icarus attack for sure. So you'll have to have Exploder Dragon. Exploder Dragon is great because if you just set Exploder Dragon and then they attack into you with like a Shura, attack with you with like a Bora, you can destroy it, and then after that their Icarus attack becomes kind of not that useful anymore, and then when it's your turn you can go off. Or like Ophion attacks into your Exploder Dragon, Ophion dies. It's really important that this happens. And because it's an Earth Dragon, I play it because it's searchable. Now, Fancying Firefarer is also really awesome. It's used basically against things like, it's also very useful against things like what is that card called? No, what is that archetype called? Yes, Fire Fist. Fire Fist. Now, I remember talking to the top 32 Madolche player. His name is David, and he told me like this card is really good because it's 1,700 attack, so it's like a bear plus a Tenki. So if they really want to crash with you, you can destroy the bear, of course, but then if they try to use the bear's effect, you will still get the effect to destroy the bear. So it's pretty important. Plus, it's a fire type, so if you happen to have this in your hand plus a blaster, you can get rid of something much more directly. You can just like a free pop on anything on the field. So that's pretty good. Dark Hole and two and the two Lightning Vortex. Nothing needs to be explained. The thing with these guys is you might want to get rid of like a Christia at times. You might want to get rid of Christia. You might want to get rid of Abyssgios. You want, I don't know, just a lot of things that try to stun you. Also, the third MST, because dragons actually lose a lot to back row heavy decks. 3 XYZ Encores for Ophion, obviously. Like you just play XYZ Encore, Ophion gets detached, and you get to go off. It's perfect. And then the 3 Rail Decree, because there are cards that hurt dragons a lot, and they're continuous traps. Like what is that card called? Vanity's Emptiness, that's one. Also Rivalry, no, not Rivalry, Goes in Match. So, you know, being able to stop that while you're going off is a pretty important thing. So, as well, it will lock down a lot of the back row cards like Compulse and all that stuff. I know it does kind of block your way for a Assault Activate, but you always want to go for a Assault Activate first before you go into Royal Decree. So just keep that in mind. And I guess that's all I really wanted to say about this deck profile. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. And this is gzduel signing out.